Nobody ever talks about what really happens after you, as an angel investor, put your money and faith into a startup. How sometimes, without warning, the founders just vanish. No calls, no emails, no updates, just silence. It's gut-wrenching. You ask yourself, why? What went wrong? Did they ever truly care? The truth cuts deeper than failed business models or missed milestones. It scratches the raw, emotional core of trust and commitment. Because when founders ghost, it's not just about losing an investment. It's betrayal, a silent explosion that shakes everything you believed in about innovation, about collaboration, about the future you thought you were building together. This is a wound felt by every angel who's dared to back a dream. You're not alone in this frustration, in this burning sense of being left behind like a ghost yourself, discarded. Yet this pain, this disappointment, here's the secret. It holds a key. Not to bitterness, not to withdrawal, but to mastery. To becoming the kind of angel investor who no longer plays a passive role, who no longer gets ghosted, who changes the rules of engagement so deeply that those founders never dare disappear on them again. Let's get real. Founders don't just ghost because they're bad people or cowards. It's almost never that simple. Sometimes they're crushed by the weight of expectations, cornered by pressure they can't admit out loud. Most bear scars you don't see: self-doubt, fear of failure, chaotic personal lives. The pressure cooker environment of startup life isn't for everyone. And many founders, especially those underfunded and overpromised, find themselves trapped in a no-win scenario. When support vanishes, when mentorship dries up, when the investment feels like a countdown to judgment rather than a collaboration, silence becomes an escape. But that silence, it should never be accepted, not a whisper of it. Because investors are not just capital providers, they must be guardians of the vision, protectors of the flame, anchors in the storm when everything feels like it's crumbling. The real reason ghosting happens is that many investors don't show up fully. They give the money, shake hands, then sit back, waiting for miracles. They miss the cracks before the collapse, the signals of struggle, the calls for help disguised as silence. And founders, left feeling alone and cornered, vanish into the void. How can this be broken? How can this cycle of ghosting be shattered once and for all? The answer demands a revolution in how you see your role, how you engage, how you listen not just to pitch decks, but to the invisible stresses beneath. It means investing not just capital, but presence, a relentless, attentive presence. Not chasing reports once a quarter, but becoming a real part of the journey every damn day, even when it's messy, even when it hurts. Imagine if every investment started with brutal honesty on both sides. You make it clear, this isn't just money, it's a pact, a bond of accountability and empathy. You commit to being more than just wallets with emails. You become the partners in the fire, the ones who ask the hard questions before it's too late. This is not about micromanaging, but creating safety nets for founders to fall into rather than break. It's about giving them permission to fail forward, to be human, without the fear that the moment they stumble, you disappear. Most angels shy away from this because it means vulnerability. It means admitting you don't have all the answers, that you can't just throw cash and walk away feeling proud. But that discomfort, it is the crucible of legendary investors. Show up relentlessly, ask powerful questions, demand clarity, but also extend grace. Build communication rituals that feel less like pressure and more like lifelines. Because communication is not a checklist item, it is the bloodline of trust. When founders feel heard, they resist the urge to flee. And here's another game changer. Invest in the psychology of your founders, as much as in the product. Learn to spot burnout, loneliness, imposter syndrome, and fear before fundraising decks crack under their weight. Bring in coaches, mentors, mental health resources early. Make resilience a co-investment. This is the kind of upside-down thinking that separates those who build durable empires from those who fund invisible dust. Control the narrative before silence wins. Ask, know, insist on regular check-ins, not just about numbers, but about mindset, motivation, and morale. Create environments where founders feel safe to be transparent, not just about success, but about fears, doubts, and mistakes. Because the magic happens when vulnerability replaces suspicion and ghosting becomes impossible. This isn't charity. This is smart investing. This is rewriting the rules of startup ecosystems. Investors who cling to old school transactional patterns will watch promising founders disappear into the fog. But investors who become co pilots, who wield patience and presence as weapons, who treat founders as people, not projects, those angels command loyalty that feels almost sacred. They don't get ghosted, they build legacies. So, yes, the fear is real. The stakes are high, the silence hurts. But embedded in this pain is a raging opportunity to transform what being an angel investor means. It means burning comfort zones to the ground and refusing to settle for surface level interactions. It means being critical and selective, not investing in any founder who can't handle the intensity of this partnership. It means patience for the long haul, knowing that trust takes time to build, but seconds to break. The world outside rewards conformity, obedience, and quiet mediocrity. But true progress lives on the edges, with those who defy the easy paths. As an angel investor, you stand at that edge, uniquely positioned to shape futures, not by playing safe, but by demanding truth, engagement, and humanity. When founders vanish, it's often because the space they inhabit feels cold or transactional. When you bring heat, presence, and unwavering commitment, ghosting stops being an option. Regain control of your investment journey. Make your role about creating transformation, not just transactions. Habits like early warning systems, mental health check-ins, and ongoing mentorship aren't extras. They're essentials. They turn your investment into an unbreakable alliance, the kind that survives tough times because it's rooted in authenticity and relentless care. The founders you fund aren't just business plans. They're people with fears, dreams, and doubts. See them, reach them, hold space for them. When you do that, the story changes from ghosting despair to partnership power. The cycle breaks. The silence shatters. The startup doesn't just survive, it thrives. You can wield your influence to build bridges where others see walls. You can create ecosystems where ghosting is a lost memory, replaced by unwavering connection. And that, exactly that, is the revolution your instincts have been demanding all along. No more ghosting. No more silence. Only true partnership. Only relentless presence. Only the fierce, burning commitment that transforms the game forever. This is how the rare become unstoppable. This is how the overlooked founders become legends. This is how you, the angel investor, rise beyond simple capital and become the guardian of the future. Remember, silence is not just absence. It's a signal. A call to show up harder, listen deeper, engage more fiercely. Those who answer that call never get ghosted. Because they're not just part of the story, they're the fire that keeps it alive. It's time to fuel that fire and refuse to ever let the founders you believe in disappear again.